Hi, everybody. It's Kathleen, and today I have a wonderful young friend of mine. His name is Yash Seyedbegari. I always stumble over his name, and he is so kind to forgive me every single time. But he is one of my go-to people for developmental editing, for just bouncing ideas off and brainstorming. So I know you're going to just love meeting him. Yash, I want to know, because there's some things I don't know about you, and that's how you got into writing. What was the big draw? And I know that you love literary fiction, so why literary fiction? And it's over to you.
I like literary fiction just because of the emphasis on character, on character and, to be able to really get into characters' heads, to understand what they're thinking, to get a sense of where they're coming from, to see their flaws, their strengths, their triumphs and their transgressions all highlighted. And I've been a storyteller for years. In fact, there's a funny story about this that I can highlight, and that's, I've always been making up stories since I was young. And in fact, I remember the first story I wrote when I was 5. And it was a story called Mr. Lump's Pump, about a farmer whose irrigation pump burst. And of course, this was before I knew all the nuances of punctuation, but it still resonates.
That is 5 years old? Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, 4 or 5. I'm pretty sure it was 5. And
you were very much a I have another young friend, probably about a few years older than you. She was Mensa, or is Mensa, and she graduated from college with 2 degrees at 14. So I kind of class you in with that level of knowledge. To be able to perform and do something like that alone would put you so far ahead of the other children in school. Why did you? I know you said it was character, but there's something else that draws you, I think, to literary fiction. Is it the fact that it's now and it's something that affects people now, not future or past. It's dealing with their lives currently.
It's definitely a part of it, but I certainly love stories grounded in the past. But I think that definitely gets to it. And it is the realism, and that is the draw. That ability to really be able to relate to these characters and their struggles.
I love your 2 characters that you use so much. By the way, he is part of Transcendent Authors, and so I've worked with him on several short stories. And 2 of his main characters that he introduces are a brother and sister, Nan and Nick. Where did you dream them up?
Well, I'll tell you, this goes back to grad school when I was pursuing my MFA in creative writing at Colorado State. In part, I mean, I started writing them before then, but I think they were truly birthed in the program, and I started thinking about these ideas of how they could live in various what-if scenarios. And the catalyst for that was a story I wrote in workshop where Nan, the older sister, is killed by a train, and I felt this wellspring of guilt for killing off my character. So from that sprung these other universes. Somewhere she fares where she's fared better, others not so much.
And your descriptives of them are just. Was that? Do you think that was a knack, or was learned?
Wait, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Would you say that the use of your descriptives with them and the surroundings around them was that something that you just birthed, like a knack within you, or something that was learned?
I think it's a combination, because I really think that at least part of it's grounded in the fact that I not only write, but I also spend a good deal of time reading. I genuinely do think the best writer is also the best reader.
I know you lead up the critique group a lot with me, with transcendent authors, but you also lead other critique groups, don't you?
I do.
Are they all literary, or are they multi-genre?
Well, I do lead one that is very literary oriented, and that's called Right Train Literary Collective. But there is another group. I'm also the founder of our local writers group here in Garden Valley, Idaho, and that's a more diverse sensibility, because in the past, we've had writers focus on historical fiction. We've got a member who's writing a sort of, Christian romance novel set series during the Civil War and the immediate aftermath. So, yeah.
What do you think is more valuable? Well, let me rephrase that again. I know that you work very well with multiple genres, but how important do you think it is to have a critique group of your own genre?
I think it's good to have one, just to be with like-minded people, but at the same time, I think to keep things balanced, it's important to participate in other more varied groups, to move beyond your safety zone, your comfort zones.
Was it because of what you learned in your training in your college, going for your MFA, about interiority? Because I know that you are very focused on that, and I love it, because that drags it out of me when you say, we need more interiority here. Did that come from your training?
I believe it did. Just the culmination of other workshops I was in before I even founded my own, and coupled with grad school. So,
where did you go to grad school at?
Colorado State in Fort Collins.
I think I've been by there. I know I went to Colorado a couple of times for different things when I was in service, but it's a beautiful state. And that's pretty close to where you live, isn't it? No, it isn't.
No, I'm back in Idaho now, but
yeah,
it was a lovely town, just a very quirky town, well known for its beers. It's been named the Napa Valley of Beers because of its 20 plus breweries, but plus it was a fascinating environment.
I can believe that. I can. I know I went to scout out a volleyball team because I was in a location that was below sea level. They're above sea level in the Denver area, and we knew that they would be our main competitors because of that. Then the difference in altitude gave them an edge on playing. So, and I discovered how beautiful a state it is and how quirky it is. And the fact that back then, Coors was not sold outside the state. Did you know that? We had to go in and get it. They could not export it out of the state. Yeah. What are your plans for the future?
I think I hope to put together my short story collection, but I think my most immediate goal is really trying to get my work out into top tier journals. I would say my number one goal would be the New Yorker at this point. I love a good challenge.
Yeah, and you're not Don Quixote just tilting at windmills. You're going to nail that windmill. I believe it. What are in your, I know you just said that your plans are to get your short stories organized. Are you going to do one just on Nan and Nick?
I am. That would be the main collection, and I've envisioned it being entitled "Choose Your Own Nick" because you get because of the different incarnations in the Nick and Nanaverse.
Okay, I like that. What do you see yourself as? More of a writer, because teaching always slips in with you, but editor, because I know you're a fantastic editor. Are those, do you feel that they're desperately different or that they are combined? Those talents.
I think they're related. I think they're definitely related. And I think each informs the other in its own way. I think being a good writer can help you be a good editor, and conversely, I think being a good editor can help you make you more aware of the strengths and areas in need of improvement in your own work.
Oh boy, is that true? I can see the difference in my own writing. And I've had other people comment on it that from when I started to where I am now, there's such a vast difference. And I attribute a lot of that to our Transcendent Authors group and a lot to you. Because you are a very talented and wise young man. Well, young to me.
With a rapidly graying beard.
But that just adds dignity, and then you need the horn rim glasses, so you could be, have them hanging off on the corner of your hand here as you stroke your beard.
I do have the glasses.
Oh, you do? Okay. So you're gathering it naturally.
I am.
Do you have any immediate plans for just for yourself? Are you gonna are you thinking of starting another group, or are you thinking of instead taking a sabbatical, just staying with one group, or you want to really concentrate on a book?
I definitely want to stay busy. So sabbaticals definitely not on the table for me. I mean, I'm certainly open to starting a new group, so that's always in the back of my head. And I think just I think really honing my big goal is to really hone in even more on the writing above all.
Do you think being a part of Transcendent Authors has helped you?
I think it has. It's good to, I mean, and not just because of the what I've learned about craft from others, but I think it's good to be a part of a fellowship of writers, to move, because writing is such a monastic act. So I think it's a psychological boost as well.
I know if I wasn't part of a local group here, I would be a recluse.
Yeah.
Because I could get lost in the writing. And
Plus, I think being in a group it's also a motivator because there are deadlines and incentives to perform.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What's your next story coming out? Do you have it? Do you have something in mind? Can you give us a sneak peek on what you're thinking about doing?
Well, I've written a few new pieces lately, and I'm looking to write a new one. I'm not quite certain, but I do believe it'll be another story focused on the pursuit of the American dream in some form or another Nick story in that pantheon.
Okay.
I will say I've been trying to explore ways to make him even more flawed, because I find reprehensible characters in literary fiction absolutely fascinating.
I can understand that. It makes them more real. That's one of the things I like about Nan and Nick is, yeah, you put them in some different and unique situations that are absolutely crazy and they crack you up, but it's also a real possibility. So it's finding the humor in life, the humor in our flaws, whether we want to or not. They're there. We just have to recognize them and be able to laugh. And I think that's one of the things I like about your writing the most, is it does make me laugh. But at the same time, it brings it home to me exactly what you're saying. So, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it been fun talking with Yash this morning? I have a slide coming up that will have a way for you to contact Yash should you need a developmental editor or a coach in writing. He is excellent. I cannot rate him high enough for that. Thank you again for joining us. And until next time, bye-bye.